One second. Yeah. So, hello everyone and welcome to the Prod Interviews. Today we are going to interview Suvachala Kashyap. Thank you so much for joining us, ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you for having me over.
Let me tell you something about her. She is an accomplished educationist, communicator, and a journalist. She has a versatile background with a dual master degree in botany and education, topped with a diploma in journalism and communication. She is also a published poet. Ma'am, one thing I wanted to ask you first of all, that you have like so versatile background. Why? Like first botany, then journalism. Why?
Yeah, well, what I'd like to tell the listeners on this count is that, writing has always been my first love ever since I can remember. I mean, as a little girl also, reading and writing, living in a kind of a make-believe world was what I loved to do. But then when you're young, you don't really understand, which line to choose. And when we were doing our graduation, that time everybody was taking science, right? And so I also took up science, but I continued this parallel first love, as they say, of writing. And so that's how I have this mixed background.
Lovely, ma'am. That's great. Ma'am, my next question is regarding your venture, Parivartan, SK's Transformational Hub. Can you tell us something about it?
Yeah, so the thing is that along my journey of working as a journalist and then later as a communicator and educationist, I realized that sometimes we are not sometimes, I would say many times we are very harsh with our judgments where children are concerned, right? Children and young adults. And many a time they don't get an option to improve or to mold themselves the way they want. What we often do is we keep putting them into little boxes, with no aspersion to the system, but there are issues, there are problems, right? So we want everybody to be the same. So what Parivartan is an independent consultancy that I started in 2019. But prior to that, I have been working in the same field for 6 years. And here, as the word suggests, we give everybody an opportunity to change. Okay. So Parivartan means the change that you want, right? Not the change that I want, the change that you want. Because when the change comes from within, it is quicker and it is long lasting. So we work with children, we work with schools, as well as parents and teachers.
Great, ma'am. We actually need more ventures like this in our country.
Yes, I would say that.
So, ma'am, your first book, Sunk in Amber. Tell us something about that.
Yeah, so Sunk in Amber, as the title says, is also a little take from, say, the world of botany, all right? Because amber basically is sap, right? It is resin. It is a sap that is exuded by a tree or a plant, and if an insect gets caught in it, it dies obviously, but you can see the insect, all right? But the insect can't see you. So
Yeah.
Sunken Amber is a collection of poems. Uh, I've written over a period of time, different periods of time, and then I have made it into an anthology. And it talks again about things that you and I go through almost every single day, right? So it's about experiences, it's about life, it's about disappointments, it's about achievements, okay? It's about the layers that life is all about. And I love this name, Sunken Amber, because sometimes our memories are, sometimes they're very faint and sometimes they're very stark. Okay, so combining these two, I thought of giving it the name Sunken Amber. Of course, it also has another punchline: raindrops, uh, raindrops on the pool. God, who needs raindrops? Okay, right?
Yes, ma'am.
So what comes first?
Sorry,
You know,
ma'am.
the identity crisis that we have, right?
Yes,
All of us go through different identity crises, right?
yes,
The raindrop feels it's better than a dewdrop. The dewdrop feels it's better than a raindrop. And the same happens in life.
yes,
So,
ma'am.
yeah, so that is how I have put this together.
Lovely, ma'am. Lovely idea. So, ma'am, what challenges did you face while writing your book?
While writing the book or publishing,
But while writing, ma'am.
while writing, the biggest challenge for me was that, as I often tell all my students also, is that you should write for yourself, right? You must write for yourself. If it gives you satisfaction, then it's fine. So for me, the biggest challenge was that which poems should I share? Because I have so many of them. I mean, I write very regularly, but I write it as a personal diary, let's say. All right. And then I sometimes share it on social media, sometimes on my blog and all of that. So the biggest challenge for me was uh, to choose which ones to choose. What should I share? Right? And you also have this, in my introduction, you said that she's this, she's that, or she's, whatever. But everybody as a human being has some hesitation, you know. Even though you know that you've reached a certain level, you're still a student, you're still a learner. And you feel that, will this be judged in the right manner? Do people really like it? So those were my basic challenges. But then my aim of publishing the book was very different. It was basically dedicated to my mother. She knew more many years ago, and she was a huge part of making me the kind of person I am. And therefore, I wanted to publish it on her birthday, and that's how it happened.
Lovely, ma'am. That's really nice. Okay, ma'am. So, one thing I wanted to ask that what advice would you give to all the budding writers?
Yeah, so see, there are 2 to 3 things that I would say. The first is that be honest with yourself. You know, see, what is happening today is don't become a writer because the world wants you to be a writer, or your parents want you to be a writer, or your teachers want you to be a writer. Because if you don't believe in yourself, all right, it's a very difficult journey. It's not an easy journey at all. In spite of the big boom in publishing and all of that, you have to first develop yourself, develop your style, develop your ability to write in the right manner. Okay. Though technically there is no quote unquote right manner. If you connect to the readers, it's the right manner. So that's the first thing, be honest with yourself. Second is write, and write. Yeah, there's absolutely no what do you say overnight success. Okay, so maybe when you've written about x raised to the power n number of words, you realize that only one page is good enough. You know,
Yeah.
and then you write more, you write more, you write more. And the third is that keep exploring, read many different genres, read different styles, not to copy, but to understand what the world of writing is all about. So, for instance, if I give an example, Ruskin Bond, many youngsters may not want to read Ruskin Bond, right? He's been writing about very simple stuff, okay? But it also has a little bit of history in it. He talks about the hill in a very simple way. So reading is the best way to write. So these 3 things: be honest, write, and believe in yourself, like I said. And also the third is that read as much as you can. Reading is brilliant. And any language, mind you. It doesn't mean you have to read only in English. Read in Marathi, Gujarati, Tamil, whatever. As long as it enriches your sense of thinking, it's good.
Okay,
Yeah.
ma'am. I'm really wanna follow them all. Thank you.
So I hope so. And you
Yeah,
yourself have written a book, so and are on your second book, so that is very encouraging.
yeah. So, ma'am, how do you think words influence people?
Uh, See, I feel that for me, words are a lot, they mean a lot. Okay. You also have a very popular English number. Words are all I have, right? Words are all I have to say, anything to you. But then, for some people, words may not necessarily be the way to go. Like I was just seeing one of the interviews of Sushant Singh Rajput, and his one of his old interviews, and I really liked what he said because it's very different. He said that words are actually unnecessary; they are redundant. They don't really convey what you want to say. They're elusive. Okay. But now if you turn that whole thing around from what you also said and you also write, is that if our words, maybe two or three as writers can touch someone, can help someone improve their life, can help them to think better, dream, then words certainly are the only way to go.
Yes, ma'am. Absolutely, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. So, ma'am, one question I've always had personally, that you have such a vibrant, background and vibrant profile. How do you manage everything?
Uh, Again, to tell you the truth, and this is going to be on air. So technically, I'm a big procrastinator. Let me tell you one thing. I love to procrastinate. Okay, I'm also a last minute worker. Technically speaking, technically. So it's a little secret I'm telling you. Uh, but the fact of the matter is that my entry point to most of the things is my passion for it, right? So the versatility happened over a period of time because of the kind of background I come from. So my dad was in the army, and we are like, I've written about that in my book also. They usually say that a rolling stone gathers no moss. Okay. But according to me, a rolling stone gathers a whole lot more, maybe not moss. So, when you're moving, mentally or physically, you're picking up experience, right? And what you do with those experiences is entirely up to you. So for students, particularly for young adults, it's very important. We give up very easily, right? But giving up should not be the answer. We should find a way. And that's what I did. Like I did MSc honors, but my first love was writing. So I made my way to Indian Express. I worked with them for a while, and Times of India, and all of that, and
Love.
kept parallelly pursuing everything that I wanted to do.
Yes, ma'am. These words will definitely, influence all of us and motivate all of us, because, yeah, there comes a point when we have to think whether we should go with writing or whatever we love to do as a hobby, or we should go with something that is much more secure as people think. Because what I feel is mentality is like, if you're into science or something like BBA or BCom, or you
Yeah,
are doing BCom something, so you have a secure future, you have a secure profession. But if someone says, I want to be a writer, I want to be a comedian, or I want to be an artist, so people are like, this is not a secure one. So you
very,
actually really nice things, and it is actually very motivating, ma'am. Thank you
very
so much, ma'am.
welcome, welcome. So just one thing I want to say that when we talk about security, self-security is important. But if you're versatile, take a look at what is happening around us today. Okay?
Yes.
With the corona and the pandemic, many people are losing their jobs, right? Now, if we teach our youngsters to be more versatile, right? So everything may not convert into money, but at least something will convert into money, and the rest of it will convert into keeping your sanity. Otherwise, you go insane. Yeah, it's important to be sane. So you read, you paint, you don't have to sell every painting, but if you're painting good enough, anything which you, uh, to maintain an equilibrium is very important.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. So, ma'am, you are also a mentor at the Katha Utsav. So, one thing I wanted to ask, is there any experience or any incident regarding it that you haven't forgotten yet?
So many incidences, Atra, so many of them. But one or two I remember very distinctly. Of course, I remember all of them very distinctly. But one which is very distinct is about maybe 3 years ago, I was in Delhi for the Nationals. And I had this one boy, if he's watching it, I'm sure he will second it, an 11th grader from Hyderabad. Okay. And he was very quiet. He was alone. He was not talking much, but he wrote very well. And around the lunch break on the day one, he's telling me, "You seem very cool. You kind of seem as if you understand everything that's happening with youngsters. But I want to know if you have the stomach to read the story I have written."
Oh,
So yeah, so I was also a little confused, and I was like, "Yeah, okay, you can try me. Why don't you send it to me tonight? I'll read it at night, and I'll get back to you in tomorrow's class." So the next day, so I read it at night. Very complicated, very layered, very beautiful story. But it had some things in it which people or readers, common readers, may not have accepted because it was coming from a 17-year-old, right? So the next day I told him that. I said that it's very beautiful. And he kept looking me in the eye, it's like whether I'm telling the truth. And I said, it's very beautiful, but some parts you could maybe change a little now. And later, when you're 18, you can put them back. So he kind of got the point and he changed it. And ever since, we've been like really good friends, and he's doing very well in Hyderabad in the same field of communication. He's into filmmaking now. So,
oh,
so sometimes children kind of, what I noticed about him was that he was very quiet. He was not talking to anybody. Come to Delhi all alone from Hyderabad, stuff like that. And then when I saw his writing, I was amazed. I was like flow, you know. And uh, yeah, so that's one of my most unforgettable experiences.
that was a good one, ma'am.
Yeah.
So, ma'am, what advice would you like to give to the youngsters of our generation?
Like general advice.
General advice, ma'am.
General advice I would like to give. See, I am actually a very risky person to ask the advice for because all the parents are going to be up in arms against me if I advise the children. You still insist, I will.
Yes, ma'am. Please, ma'am.
Okay. So see, the thing is, like I said before, the first thing is you must and must believe in yourself, whatever it may be, whatever it may be. It could be a dream. It could be, like I give this example to everyone that whatever you do it with honesty. Okay. For instance, I'll tell you, all of us are normal human beings and we have all kinds of urges. The example I give most often, even to 6-year-olds today, is that if you feel like smoking, go ahead and do it once. But everything comes with a rider. You must know the consequences, right?
Yes,
So,
ma'am.
so yeah. So what we do is adults often divide the world into do's and don'ts. Life doesn't work like that. Life doesn't work in do's and don'ts. So as a youngster, you want to experiment, you want to try out things, do it, but be ready to face the consequence. Right
Yes.
now, if you are everything wins, you will think 20 times. Or so the first is believe in yourself, experiment if you have to, but be responsible. Be responsible, right? Second thing is please stop aping others. Don't do things because others are doing it in your class or your peer group or whatever. Find your aim, find your goal. Nothing. If you be taking time off and roaming around for a few years, do it. But don't blindly follow people. Find
Yes.
your own calling. And it really helps. I'm telling you, it really helps. And the third thing that the world needs today from youngsters is do what you can in the smallest way to spread peace, happiness, and kindness. So stop being very materialistic, very selfish. Try to spread a little bit of peace, happiness, love, kindness. That's what the world needs. And writers and innovators all the time. So that's the other thing.
Ma'am, one of the best advices I've ever got, ma'am. Hope it will help help our generation for sure, and some adults too. People also need to know that.
Absolutely. I hope so. Even parents should know that.
Yes, ma'am. So thank you so much for joining us today, ma'am. It was great having you with us today.
Thank you, Adra, and all the
Okay,
best to you. Yeah, thank
thank
you.
okay, thank you, ma'am.